say the address so that the agent doesn't, if they're watching, they don't know I'm talking about them. But I got a couple offers in, and I did the deal, right? So there was an agent who tried to get in. The tenant took the key out of the lockbox, couldn't get in. Fine, whatever. She got mad at me, like it was my fault, because she didn't get in and we leased the property out. And I told her, I said, look, you're not really mad at me. I'm not the one you're mad at. I said, you're mad at yourself because now you have to go to your clients and explain to them why you're a shit agent. So if your clients are looking for a good agent who can actually get them a property, let me know. Yeah. I have no remorse.
You're not mad at me, just like reverse psychology.
Yeah, you're not mad at me at all.
Whatever.
Yeah.
We do this, like, that's what we train on, is like psychology and mindset.
Okay.
But
wow.
You're not mad at me. You really aren't. You're mad at yourself because you didn't do a good enough job. It's not me. I didn't do anything. I did my job. My landlord's happy. We got
that just
good rent.
stung me a little. I've been there. I've been on the receiving end, but indirectly.
Yeah. Well, sorry.
Like,
Yeah.
It happens. Shit happens.
Because you've been in those shoes, right? Which is important.
Yeah.
I don't understand why realtors get offended by things like that. Like, hey,
By
take a break.
an offer going through that.
Like their offer doesn't get accepted, or
Oh, it's like the call I just had before we started. Yeah.
there you go.
She's like, why
Basically.
didn't you tell me there's another offer? And I'm like, I told you one's coming in. We just don't have it yet.
Right.
And
It's not my fault you didn't follow up. It's your fault you didn't follow up. Like, I don't understand. It's okay though, because there's other properties that you can lose.
yeah. Oh my God.
You know.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Other
actually really
properties
true. Well, that's a good intro. So
Yeah.
with
Wow.
that,
Just me being a fucking
welcome to the
prick
real
for
deal.
the intro.
Just being an asshole. That's okay.
Yeah. All right.
We all
So-
operate differently.
Welcome back to another episode of the Real Deal. I'm Sam.
I'm Naz.
I'm Mikayla.
Today we have Mikayla. Mikayla, who are you though?
I am, I guess, the person behind the brand of the Loft Queen, which
face.
is now the face behind the Loft Queen group in Toronto.
Cool.
Amazing. I'm
Very
super
cool.
excited to have you here because you've made such a good wave and presence in the Toronto real estate market as a whole, and you're someone I look up to
Aw.
personally. So I'm sure there's a lot of other realtors and young females out there who feel the same as I do. So thank you for that. But maybe we can dive into a little bit more about yourself and about how you've gotten to where you are now, and talk a little bit more about who Mikayla is, opposed to, we know what the Loft Queen does, but we want to know who Mikayla is.
Okay. Where do I begin? I don't know where to begin. I guess me. All I do is work and look at lofts. I feel like I don't really have a personality aside from the Loft Queen at the moment, just because it is fully embodied me, but it's not only a job to me, it's truly a hobby. And I honestly have no idea what to say right now, because like literally work
Okay,
is
so we're
work
gonna unpack Mikayla.
Okay.
Let's start with this. Does the Loft Queen live in a loft?
I live in a soft loft. I had the option of living in a hard loft, and it just didn't work out. But the unit I'm in right now makes the most sense in respect to location and aesthetic. As much as I want it to be a hard loft, I feel a little bit of a fraud not living in a hard loft, given I'm like,
It's
I
still
go
a
by the
loft.
Loft Queen. But yeah, sure.
But you could talk more about that, because I know before you said that you're a realtor, so you don't just sell lofts. There's so much more to that, right? So
Right. So a little bit like a pain point that I have with the brand is that a lot of people think that I only do lofts. They don't think that I do condos. They don't think that I do freehold. I actually just sold a house in Utah-Tecumseh like a month ago, which when I told some people at my new brokerage that I'm at, they were like, what? I thought you only do lofts. I'm like, no, like I will obviously take on any business that I can.
Yeah.
The reason why I really honed in on lofts is because that's what was getting the most traction on social media. And I'm a type of person that's very analytical. I look at what I'm doing, what can I do better, what is working, what isn't working. And 2 years ago, so Loft Queen is actually going to turn 2 this June. I might throw a little birthday party. I haven't decided yet.
I hope we're invited.
You all are invited. But it hasn't even been 2 years. Isn't that insane? And the brand grew incredibly.
So
But
I don't mean to
Yeah.
interrupt, but have you been licensed for, how long have you been licensed for?
So I've been licensed for 2.5 years, but I've been doing real estate for over 8 years. So I took on the role of as a property manager for different commercial and residential properties. Also, as I was getting my licensing done, I was working alongside a top producing agent and he kind of took me under his wing and taught me a ton of stuff. So when I was fully licensed, I hit the ground running, and I felt like I had that to my advantage because I already knew what I was doing. I was running CMAs, comps, everything for him, knowing how to do all those listing presentations. So the only thing is, I moved to Toronto around the time that I started working with him, and he was doing more suburban areas and more up north. So a lot of my experience was there, and that's ultimately what also encouraged me to move over and be a solo practicing agent in the city, because I wanted to do Toronto real estate. I didn't want to spread myself thin and be all over the place. I felt like I was a disservice to everyone that I was working with because I didn't know anything. Like, I was doing showings in Hamilton, and I had a listing in Hamilton, and I didn't know anything about there or like that entire market, neighborhood, anything like that. Whereas in Toronto, you can ask me like a specific building or like a certain address, and I'll know the per square foot value. Like, I know Toronto like the back of my hand. With that being said, with Lofts, when I started doing my own social media and stuff, when I was out on my own, so no longer working with that team, I started doing very tacky real estate content, and
Like we all do.
like we all do,
all
but
guilty.
then I would kind of sprinkle in some like tours, and a lot of the stuff that was really popping off was the loft. So I said, I need to tap into this. And around that same time, I was doing a ton of leases. I was new. And my dad kept saying like, oh, like you're the lease queen, you're the lease queen. And then I started doing more lease content, and then I noticed that the lofts were getting the most traction. So I was like, why don't I just call myself the Loft Queen?
Yeah.
And at that time too, I had someone else tell me that wasn't even in real estate, you need a niche, you need a niche. And I was like, that's the only thing that's working right now. Why don't I just post content? I had no idea that it was gonna grow into what it had grown into today and what it continues to grow into. So that's why I really focused in on the lofts. That's not to say I don't do just lofts. And anyways, I feel like I'm just circling in this conversation right
but
now.
I get it, and it makes sense. And to that point, I think you're going to pick up the niche thing from what she said, because that's a big thing.
She
for
kind
us.
of answered the niche part of it. My question was going to be, how'd you find your niche? But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, so it was...
you kind of covered
I
it.
read your mind. I'm like, he's going to
Never
the
mind.
niche because that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I
Forget
was
it.
literally having dinner with someone, and they were just telling me like, just randomly giving me advice. Like, you need a niche, you need to use QR codes, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And it's funny because in that moment I didn't really grasp that, but now as I'm so, I guess, divulged in it, is that even the
Like
right word?
immersed into your business kind of thing,
Like
yeah.
I'm immersed into it. I noticed that I started picking up all of that advice and applying it. And again, like, they're in a completely different industry than I am, and it's so crazy because like every industry flourishes when you have a niche, when you use these very simple marketing tactics and you're not doing what everyone else is doing.
Yeah.
And that's what I always told myself before even making a content video, anything like that. Are 4 other realtors doing this on either TikTok or Instagram right now? I need to stand out and be different.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with a colleague yesterday, actually. I was helping him film some content, and he's like, I don't get why my friend doesn't get any clients from TikTok the way that you do, because he gets way more views than you. And I'm like, yeah, but show me his page. We're scrolling through it. I'm like, what is different? Let's compare Loft Queen to this guy's page. What is different? He's like, nothing, you guys are both doing tours. I'm like, no, but I'm only doing tours
For lofts.
of lofts, and I'm providing value of lofts, and I'm doing these tours right when they hit the market or right before. I have now realtors calling me right as they have loft listings. They're like, do you want to bring your clients through? Do you want to do some social media content? Do you want to get the first showing, like first couple showings in? And I'm like,
Yeah, of course.
absolutely. So
'Cause you have the
yeah,
the client
because I
base.
have the audience,
Yeah.
and I've just built that audience. And I even now have people messaging me. So I started an emailing list, and I always say at the end of my videos now, if you want to join my mailing list, send me an email here. And it's also like another source of lead generation ultimately.
100%.
And so they email me, hey, I want to join the mailing list. I respond back, do you want tailored listings, or do you want to just get the general newsletter?
The general list.
And I'd say 9 times out of 10, they're saying, I want tailored listings. And within all of the criteria questions that I ask, are you working with a realtor? Because I'm not just going to send you tailored listings if you're working with
100%.
someone.
Yeah.
And so many, like, I would say in the past month, maybe like 15 people have told me, yeah, I'm working with a realtor. Can you still send me listings? I'm like, no, like, first of all, with new RICO and Tressa
We're not
guidelines
allowed
as
to.
of December
I
1st,
can't.
we're not allowed to. We're not
to.
even supposed to send listings to people that
Aren't
aren't
signed up.
signed with
Yep.
us.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's my response. We're like, no, but can you still just send it to me? Like, why don't you post the address on Instagram? I'm like, I'm not creating this page for you. I'm creating this page ultimately for me
me.
to generate business. So
Yeah.
why am I going to sit by my computer waiting for your message to come in and respond, hey, here's the address? And the thing too
You're not
is,
getting paid for that.
I'm not getting paid for that. On top of that, you just told me you're working with a realtor. I have realtor friends, and they'll message me and say like, hey, I'm too lazy to look this up. Can you tell me where this is? No problem. Own that. But I also have realtors that message me and say, where is this? Where is this? I'm like, I've given you the price, the specs of the unit, the square footage,
I go look
everything.
on
In the
MLS
local
You
right
can,
area.
you can
Yeah.
go on MLS
You'll
and
find
type
it in 10
that
minutes.
in.
Especially if you're the listing agent, you can literally see.
Exactly, but I'm not always the listing agent, and
Yeah.
that's like another pain point of mine too, because people will see this page, and I've had people say, I feel like you're too busy to help me, and I'm like, no, I'm advertising my own listings. I'm advertising agents that have
Yeah.
asked me to advertise their listings or want that additional exposure. It's not just only me.
Yeah.
So it's just so funny to me that people even reach out and say, hey, can you send me these listings? My realtor can't find them for me. And I'm like, your realtor's fucking lazy. But I
realtor
don't say
shit.
that. I'm just like, I'm
Your
sure that
realtor
they can,
shit.
yeah, I was like, I'm sure that they can help you find it. But again, like there's
Those
realtors
are
out
the
there.
realtors we tell to fuck off, by the way.
Yeah, I don't even respond to them. I even have realtors sending me messages now, can I join your mailing list? No, go fucking do your job.
Yeah.
Like you are the problem with
Yeah.
realtors, and that's why we get a bad rep, because I know for a fact I work my ass off. I'm trying to find these off-market listings,
Yep.
on-market listings right when they hit the market. I have so many different website setups just to get notifications once a certain type of unit hits the market. And it's
Yeah.
like AdWords source, like so many things that I feel like majority of people are probably not even tapping into,
It's so true.
just to like, you know, really fulfill that niche and show the value and bring that value to
Right.
clients.
It's just
So-
like the little things that matter that really show your value to clients.
Yeah.
And like, I haven't been posting as long as you have, but I definitely see how people just be like, can you send me this, or where's this located, when you've given them all the information when they have realtors. I love the new Tressa laws, by the way, because it actually amplifies my service. I feel like it amplifies our service to our clients, number one, and it holds us more accountable. So if you're just saying like, hey, send me the listing, and you have a realtor, well, hold your realtor accountable, or sign up with me and hold me accountable, right? Because it's my
Yeah.
job at the end of the day to send you that listing if you send me something, and figure it out, right?
But I think the laws also, they kind of mitigate the risk that comes from what I call jump realtors. So jump realtors are people who get a call and they jump at the opportunity to do a showing or to do, like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
You're not going to call me in the middle of the day and do a showing. It's not happening. Right? Give me a second. Sorry, my phone's going off. Anyway, so I think it mitigates jump realtors because you're not allowed to do what you were doing before without a BRA, without RICO paperwork. Like you're not doing those showings, and you're not giving advice, and you're not doing all that stuff. So I find that if you're a good agent, Tressa laws have made your job fundamentally easier.
Yeah.
Can I ask you guys a question
Yeah.
off the record? Like,
Yeah.
Sure.
we're not any.
We
Are you guys actually doing that?
Yeah.
I have enforced it in my business recently, and I've amplified my business.
So I do it with. I don't make people sign reps with me until I go on like a first set of showings.
That's what I'm doing.
No,
Okay,
I sign
like-
reps first.
He's signing
I won't
reps
go out.
first, unless I pre-qualify and they're actually
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
like, I
down to
always-
sign up with you.
yeah.
I'm gonna get approved with your broker, and we're gonna go for it. Then I sign
If
them
they
up,
don't
and
sign
then
on me,
we'll
I
start.
don't do showings.
I do pre-qualifying things, like they have to connect with a mortgage broker, send me a letter that they're
Mm-hmm.
pre-approved, or like send me their IDs, some shit like that, just to show like
Yeah.
the seriousness.
Yeah.
But I found that my best clients, because I tried to push like buyer reps before, and like I would say that on the
You're
intro
gonna say,
call, like
I'm reading your mind. I know.
so literally some of my best clients, they never like they didn't want to do shit, and then finally, because like everyone's a different personality type, so
you
I'm
have to
trying
build
to
trust. I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah.
So that's why I'm doing it at okay. Anyways, we
I
can
totally get
I
because
don't,
I'd work a lot like you.
I
so
don't go out without a BRA. So.
Okay.
I just because I found that I've been burned quite a few times, like, and this can be on the record. I've
Okay.
been burned for like $50,000-$60,000 in commission because I didn't have somebody signed up, and I did all the legwork. So, part of my language for the podcast, but fuck those people. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, Jump Realtor.
Yeah.
He like
So-
acquired
Also,
on, like,
Jump is a
Realtor
real
CA.
estate brokerage, so I'm not talking about the Jump brokerage.
No, we're not.
I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got friends who work at Jump, so I'm not talking about Jump real
Not
estate
you guys.
brokerage.
Yeah, we like you guys.
No, but I got tons of stories like that. I've offered cash back to buyers, and them tell me it's not enough money, and I'll send you a cancellation. I don't care. Like I had a buyer, they sold an investment property. We sold their investment property, and then they wanted to buy their forever home, and they were gonna sell. Cool. So you sold, you're gonna buy, and you're gonna sell. There's like almost $100,000 to be made. So I don't mind giving money back at that point because there's so much to be made.
Yeah.
Right. So they wanted to buy a house. It was 1.8, and there was 3 offers. So I offered them $10,000. I said I will give you guys $10,000 to get you to that point to be competitive. Okay, we lost the house for $5,000. They told me that the $10,000 I was offering was not enough money. I sent them. I didn't even say anything. I sent them a BRA cancellation. to
Did
their
they
email.
sign it?
Yeah. I
Yep.
said sign it.
I remember
said,
he was so
Go
pissed.
find another agent who's going to give you any money, let alone $10,000.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Good for you.
They didn't buy anything yet.
Yeah,
know they
I
haven't
feel
bought
like the
anything
more you give sometimes when they
Yeah,
don't
the more
already
they get greedy,
acknowledge
right?
your value, it's just gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be a downhill.
I think you
sitch.
give clients enough rope to either climb themselves out of a hole or hang themselves. Right?
Yeah.
And it's their choice
Yeah.
what they want to do with it. Right.
I think it's up to us as agents to kind of lay that playing field and those boundaries though from the start.
Yeah.
Like with me, I've been asked before, like, can you give me cash back? And I've literally blatantly said, like, that's not something I work off of because I do so much more for you, right? Or like, why don't you work with me first and then let's get to that point. Like, let me sell something for you, buy something with me, and then we'll build that trust and get there. It's always like, people always want to take from the agents and don't
Yeah, I'm
see our
not a-
value in
I'm
our
not a
words.
discount agent.
It's because
Yeah.
they think that we make so much money, and it's like, yeah, but what goes in behind it? I actually have a story about discount agents.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So a couple months back, I get a call from this really lovely couple, and they said that their property's been on the market for 6 months. They're getting no traction, nothing's happening. And I said, that's really unfortunate. What's your address? Let me look into this. I look it up. First of all, the property has the wrong square footage. Second of all, the photos are terrible. They didn't get the unit staged.
Wow.
It has all my clients' like wedding photos all over the walls in the photos,
Personal
not even
photos.
blurred out. So
Yeah.
like that's kind of a privacy concern and just weird. Like no one wants to
Right.
see their own personal photos on MLS or vice versa.
Yeah.
And they didn't do like any painting, like upgrades, nothing like that. I know that every agent's different and they don't offer all of that. But when I went and did like a listing consultation, I walked through the unit. I said, you need to paint this accent wall. It's sucking up the space. It's making it so
Right.
small. And this is a 2-story loft. So you need to be mindful that it's already a unique space. And some people will shy away from it from the jump just
Yeah.
because they don't appreciate that uniqueness.
100%.
And I was like, you need new blinds. Like, why are the blinds closed in all the photos? You get so much natural light. The photos that you guys had listed before look like shit.
Like
and that's
iPhone
probably why you got
photos.
no showings.
Yeah.
And it was listed for 6 months. And granted, like it was a slow market, but when it's a slow market, you have to do everything in your power to showcase that property
100%.
even more. I had a property that wasn't selling. When I first met with this client, her property was worth, like based on comps, $800,000. We ended up selling for $650,000. That was my most hated transaction of all time. But
I've seen it happen. I've been
yeah,
there.
and the thing is, we got new photos done halfway through the listing.
Mm-hmm.
We restaged, we revamped things like 3 times just to showcase the unit in different lights.
Right.
And we also, the one thing that like helped get that property sold was a mortgage assumption, but we were advertising that and like updating the photos. Anyways, back to the other story. So I got the washroom redone. I just repainted it, installed a new vanity. That's like what, $800, $900, and then repainted. That was like another $500 to $800. Like little small upgrades like that. But we got
Goes
over,
such a long
yeah, we got over 20 showings in less than 6 days. We did set the price at $649. It was previously listed at $689 for 6 months. And we set an offer date. We received 3 bully offers 2 days before our offer presentation,
amazing.
and we sold for $750. The last realtor told them that they would be lucky if they got like $640.
Wow.
So
What?
their expectations were here, and I told them, no, let me stage, like let me do everything. And it like their expectations got here, but we received an offer for, I believe, like 701, and I'm like, no, I think we can get more, and we ended up getting 750.
Wow.
So good.
That's
It's just
Yeah.
the right representation, showcasing the unit in a positive way, and just like I'm trying to make a content video right now before and after, but I'm like, I don't want to sound like an asshole. Like my clients fired their discount realtor because they were paying 1%, but that's a situation. Like you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
right?
it's
And
so true.
I always say this too, especially when I go into listing presentations. There's two things I say. The first thing is, if somebody can only discount their commission, it's because they have no other value.
Yeah.
They have nothing else to provide you.
So true.
There's nothing for them to say, I gotta charge 5% because I do this, 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 and this. There's nothing. So yeah, I'm gonna reduce my commission because I'm not doing anything for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Number one.
So
And number
true.
two, my favorite line, it's my favorite closing line, is if a realtor's not willing to fight for what they get paid, what makes you think they're gonna fight for what
For
you
what
get
you
paid?
want. Yeah.
Just like Buddy Boy who
So
overpaid
true.
for his house.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So
But that's a perfect example
You know?
of that. Like
yeah.
you
And
get what you
it's-
pay for.
You get what you pay for at the end of the day. And I would rather just not take a listing.
Yeah.
If you're not, especially if you're not buying with me, if you're gonna sell and then buy with me,
If a listing is
maybe,
overpriced,
but
I'm not taking
no.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Learned
mean?
my lesson.
And I think with overpriced listings, it just comes down to, and it sucks being honest. It's hard being honest when you're in a listing presentation and their expectations are through the roof.
Yeah.
But you have to be. I think good realtors need to understand that you have to be the bad guy or bad girl. You have to be that person. You have to be the person to say, hey, look, I get you want $2 million, but your place isn't worth $2 million. I'm sorry, it's just not. Here's why. And to be the bad person. But eventually what's going to happen is they're going to look back and either appreciate it or they're going to not appreciate it, work
Yeah.
with somebody else, and then call you 6 months down the line. Right? And the final closing line that you can say to people if they want you to be a discount agent is, people always say the same thing. Well, I'm going to interview the other agent because they're 1%, whatever. Okay, fine. Well, I'll reduce my commission if you buy with me. I only reduce quarter to half a point max. And go ahead and interview them. But you need to understand, if you call me back and I come in here to get the listing, I'm not discounting my commission anymore because now I know you went out there,
Yeah.
you saw the playing field, and now you know I'm the best thing out there for you. So now I'm not discounting my commission at all. It's your choice.
I think if you're a good agent, you actually encourage them to go out and interview
I
other
always
agents.
say that.
I
I'm like,
literally,
do your
that's
due
my
diligence,
line.
interview
I'm like, here, I'll
around.
give you numbers to other agents
Yeah.
too if you need like.
I know for a fact,
Yeah.
like, I do the fucking most. Even at my new
Yeah.
brokerage, I told people, like, yeah, I'm replacing, like, the vanity of my clients, like, place to help list.
Done
And they're
that.
like, you're not charging them for it? I'm like, no, I know that the place is going to sell. I'm confident. Like,
Yeah.
what is, like, I would have probably given them a gift of that same value
Yeah.
as I put into their property. So why not? I'm going to make more money. They're going to make more money. We're all happy.
And what you did.
yeah,
And what
exactly.
You did. So it was worth the investment, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Or even something as simple as sending a cleaner in to clean a unit.
yeah.
Like I get a cleaner every single listing I put on the market because I'm like, I don't like dirty houses.
Yeah.
And my clients are like, you're gonna take that out of your pocket? I'm like, that's on me. The marketing, photos, any other stuff. I show up with like a bin and like myself and a crew to clean your house if you need to. Like we're there.
And
like
just-
same way. Like I saw your videos, I watched your whole process, and I loved it because it was like. Not enough realtors are doing
Yeah,
these
I
things
don't
for their
mind getting my
clients.
hands
Yeah,
dirty,
like,
Yeah.
and I loved watching you do it because I'm like, this is legit me, like sweating and like moving stuff
Well,
for my
I think
clients.
this is important to stress for realtors who maybe don't have the money to invest. They're new in the business. They don't have the money to invest in their clients' properties. Get to work.
I
Roll
think
up
you
your
have to wear
sleeves.
all hats, so it doesn't
I've
matter about the
literally
money.
On my hands and knees, scrubbed floors in condo units.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I've had too many situations recently where the cleaner bailed. For that exact list or for that specific listing, the cleaner showed up, I left, and then I went back and nothing was fucking done.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I was like scrubbing, but
Yeah.
like I finally found a really great cleaner. If you guys want a good
If
connect,
you
her
need
name's
a good
Martha.
cleaner, I got a
She
good
is incredible. But with staging, I do all the staging myself. I started a staging company because I was tired of
So good.
hiring stagers that just everything looks so fucking basic.
The same.
And it looks beautiful, don't
It's
get
the
me wrong,
same.
but I'm tired of seeing the single chairs where the TV should be. I have people walking through the unit and they're like, this isn't how I'm gonna live. I'm not gonna put 2 fucking chairs there for what? Like
So
my
true.
no, like absolutely not. Like that's where my TV's gonna be. They're gonna sit on the couch with me and we're gonna snuggle and like eat some popcorn.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Like you're selling a story. Another thing I do too, what I just recently started doing is putting cue cards all around the unit, showcasing like different features. So when I first did the
smart.
initial
That's a good idea.
consults, I'm gonna make a video. You're gonna love this
You're
one
so
thing.
genius. I love it.
I put a little cue card on the window, and there's like a building that's obviously like under construction across. So everyone's initial thoughts are like, my view's going to get obstructed. I'm going to submit lower. I don't want this unit at all. I work with so many buyers. I know immediately what their objections
Psychology,
are.
yeah.
Exactly. So I put a photo of the property and I'm like, oh, nope, this is a heritage building actually. Just so you know, like it's going to be a museum and a restaurant. And these are the operating hours. So it's not even going to be loud. Also, the building is built this way,
Beautiful.
insulated this way. So there's not going to be any noise
Genius.
complaints. So every single objection, pain point that you possibly think is going to
You've already
happen.
covered it.
I'm about to go do that. I might up.
Do it. More realtors need to do it. And the
Yeah.
thing is, when I got this listing, I had so many realtors call me and be like, I love that you did that. I'm like, why don't we all just start doing it? I'm not going to gatekeep.
No,
like,
I honestly think that's a fantastic
Yeah.
idea. Like,
Or just-
it helps us so much
Yeah.
walking through the unit too with your buyers when they have all these questions. It's like, oh, my answer's right there because
Exactly.
this listing agent actually showed her value and took the time to go and do that. Right?
Exactly.
That's huge.
Well, then this is a question, because you've only been in the business, you said 2.5 years?
2.5 years, like on
right?
my own, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for new agents?
Oh, that's
a great question.
because I'm mentoring new agents.
Well, just
now.
because it seems like you have a lot of creative, outside the box ideas that kind of separate yourself from the rest of the pack.
And your creativity definitely shows in our
So what advice
marketplace.
do you have for realtors in general that are just starting out?
I think for the most important thing, surround yourself by top producers, surround yourself by people that you want to be. So when I first started, I joined Remax. Actually, I don't even want to talk about, I can't say names, fuck. Okay, rewind. When I first got started, I joined a team and it was a very fresh team. He was still figuring it out. And he gave really great mentorship, but I wasn't like, everything seemed so great to me because I was new.
You were new.
I didn't like, and I learned so much, but in that process, I learned that I don't want to do suburban areas. I want to focus on the city. That's where I'm at. That's also where my target buyer is. So
Yeah.
a lot of people think I should practice in the area that I grew up in. I know it the best. You can learn, you can adjust.
Yeah, of
Go into
course.
the area where you're going to generate the most business. I thought everyone that's going to be in the city is most likely young. They're gonna trust another young agent.
Yeah.
Or everyone in the suburban areas, they're automatically going to go with their family's realtor.
Correct.
Whatever.
You're so
like
right about
that's
that.
what I
Yeah.
realized very quickly because my friends who were buying in suburban places, they first said to me, yeah, I'm going to use you. They never ended up using me. They ended up using their family realtor, like their aunt, someone's uncle, whatever. And I found that the strangers that were located in the city were the best place. And I still think if you're a brand new agent, practice in the city. Yes, it's
I actually
extremely
agree with you.
saturated, but there's so much more inventory there versus like what you're gonna go door knocking or try to like become established in a specific pocket. Like farm the city or a specific area in the city. Not enough realtors are doing that. And when I'm encouraging other people to like tap into the East End, like make that your niche. Like anyone listening to this right now, no one is doing
true.
a niche in
No
the
one's
East
doing
End.
East End. That's
Like if you have
actually
any
facts.
questions about a niche you should tap into, like ask me because I've studied this heavily and told my other real estate friends like this is where you should go, this is where you should go. So anyways, back on the topic of new agents, go in an area that you think you would actually flourish. If you're an older agent, you can stay in the suburban area. I'm not trying to make this like an ageist comment, but it is. If someone sees someone young, and that's also why I haven't posted myself on the Loft Queen for the last 2 years until recently, because now I have a portfolio to back
Right.
myself.
Yeah.
People are gonna be like, you're so young, why would I trust you? You're new, this page is new.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to build yourself up before you like
Yeah,
the
you have to have
credibility
you have to have
aspect.
notoriety before
Exactly.
you
yeah,
get out there.
exactly. And another thing, choose a good brokerage. And it's like, how can you figure out what a good brokerage is? Also, question and challenge everything they're saying. When I left the first brokerage I was at and joined another one, I was promised a million things.
Right.
I was promised so much training. Oh, we're a luxury brokerage. We're this, we're that. Since I've changed brokerages and joined one that actually is all those things, I went and did my own research and found out that everything that I was told was a lie. There was no history of even, I guess, the person who I was getting mentored by being a top producer. And he,
Wow.
one of the reasons why I joined that was because I'm like, wow, like you're so incredible. And then as I got more established and like really understood how everything works, I realized you're not it.
All
You're
that glitter
really
ain't
not
gold.
it.
That's what I say.
Yeah, and it sucks because I felt like I was really bamboozled for almost like 2 years, and it just wasn't a really positive way to leave, I guess. And another thing too, read your contracts. Read your contract with a lawyer with a fine tooth comb, because I was excited and I just wanted to jump into like, you know, a new place and get going, and there was a lot of shady terms and conditions and clauses and all that stuff in there, and I'm now just dealing with a lot. So that's one really, really big piece of advice. Consult a lawyer with your contracts, and don't trust everything you hear. I feel like this industry as well is so much smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
So many people that I had looked up to when I first joined, or started practicing more so in Toronto, it's like this person, like,
don't
wow,
transact.
they're my inspiration. And I actually got, someone shared a spreadsheet with me of all the realtors' transactions, sale transactions, not lease. And I looked up every single one of them, and I was like, I was just like, wow, you're top 1%. Where in like your mom's heart? I don't understand.
Not even there.
Not even there. And I'm just like, dude, you did like $60,000. Like, you made $60,000 this year, and you're telling people you're like a
Gross.
multi-million.
Producer, yeah, that's what I don't like, the phoniness that comes with social media and realtors.
Yeah, it's really awful. So that's rough. I actually experienced like a weird little moment myself when I was promoting a listing for someone else, and I posted that this one loft got sold, but I wasn't trying to promote it like, hey, I sold this.
Yeah.
But I didn't say that. But then I had people commenting saying like, well, they didn't ask me if I sold it, but then the listing agent reached out and they're like, oh, can you just like mention this in the video? I'm like, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't mind. But that's the thing. Like, so many things can get easily perceived in a different manner.
Yeah.
I ended up just taking that video down because I'm like, I never want to be that agent that people are like, oh, she's faking it or like whatever. I will never take credit where it's not due or owed. So, and I'm noticing a lot of agents, I actually lost a listing because this lady said that this other agent sells more than me. And I remember I was like sitting and like researching this agent just because I'm petty. And I looked up every MLS that he advertised on his site as his own sale, and it was his team lead sale, which is fine, whatever. Fake it till you make it. But guess what? They didn't end up selling that client's property. And and they're also a discount realtor. So
that's what happens.
I have a real problem with discount realtors.
Yeah, me too.
I come at them with a vengeance. Like, I do not like
They're ruining it for us.
I think they're just, it's why it's so saturated.
No, but
those
are the people that are giving us the bad name when we're putting our all into.
Well, I think it's just the reason why people
we're
say I
doing
don't need a
painting
realtor.
listings, like cleaning people's garbage and trash. Like, that's the shit we're out here doing. And there's people
I really think
just
that's why
showing up and taking pictures with their iPhone and putting a sign on the
that's why
lawn.
people say they don't need realtors. It is. It's because they look at the majority of realtors and go, yeah, I can.
It's because there's no standard.
You guys suck.
Yeah.
And it sucks that we're not regulated as a body of a profession. Like, we should be, our pay should be regulated. What we do should be regulated, because then it mitigates that trash.
Yeah.
It eliminates it fully. And then you don't have 1% agents because you can't charge 1%. You can't because you're regulated. You have to make a minimum of this.
There was an industry standard.
Then what do? Then all the cream rises to the top because all the crap has no
place
leverage.
to go.
They have no leverage.
No place to go.
They have no leverage. They have no reason to say, pick me,
Yeah.
because you're not cheaper anymore. So now what are you?
Yeah.
Now you're out of the business where you belong.
Yeah. A lot of agents fell off after like the increase in fees. I loved it. I loved seeing
Not
that.
even the increase in fees, even the decrease in the market. A lot of people got out of this business, and I love it.
But that's what we needed to do, and we needed a filter out.
Every time.
I think it's time for
but-
our favorite question. We're not done yet.
Oh,
On
no?
that note,
Our favorite question?
We have one more question for you up our sleeves, but that was
Why
great.
am I scared right now?
That was really good, but
You've answered
drum
most of
roll,
it.
drum roll
You've
for
answered
our
most of
favorite
it, to be fair.
question, but yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
answered
she
it.
actually
But
did.
what makes you the real deal?
Because I'm the only loft specialist in the city right now that's actually
White girl.
transacting and tapping into that niche. Like, there's agents out there, but they don't identify themselves as a loft specialist. And how do I answer that?
It's a good one.
I just feel like I'm the only one out here doing it. Like,
There you
I'm
go.
like
That's a good
that's all
answer.
that's all I can really say.
You're like coming from another realtor, and like I said before, like I look up to. You're the only one out there actually, like in a niche, doing something completely different than anyone else.
Yeah.
And like it's so refreshing to see that. And thank you for coming today and
Oh my
sharing
God,
your
I'm
we
story.
so
appreciate it.
honored to even have this
Yeah, we
conversation.
appreciate
Yeah,
with you
I think it
guys.
was
That's
a
a good one.
long time coming, and I really looked forward to this one. So
Yeah, me
I
too.
hope all of you
Yeah, it
guys
was
like
fun.
it too. And with that, I think that's the real deal.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's the real deal.